Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come in the Castrol GTX Cup Series as we are set to kick off All-Star Weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina, as we are here for the running of the Winston. But first, it's the Winston Open. Now, what this is, it's for all the drivers who are down there, who gets the last chance to qualify for the Winston All-Star race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the top 5 finishers of this event, the Winston Open, after 40 laps of this race, will be qualified for the Winston itself. This is the same distance, by the way, as we have for the Coca-Cola 600, which will be an 80-lap race, believe it or not, this season. What this is going to be, this is going to be 40 laps for the Open. And the Winston itself will be 2 20-lap segments, so overall 80 laps overall in this event, on this video at least. And this will be in the 600 itself will be an 80-lap race. So here's starting off this event, and a lot of big names here on the pole. Dylan Young in the Miller Lite Dodge car number 2, and beside him will be Keith Batson, car 88. Row 2, Levi McIntyre 99, and beside him will be car 16, Paul Minnick. McIntyre, Young, and Batson will all have in-car cameras in today's event. In today's Open, that is. Third row is going to have James Henry 31 and number 28, Cat Batson. Fourth row will have Zachary Fitzwater number 9 and number 5, the Kellogg's Cornflakes Kellogg's Frosted Flakes car of Jay Jefferson. He will start alongside in the fourth row. Jefferson would like to get himself a spot and also race himself. Fifth row, Ryan George in 15, and beside him will be car 7. It'll be Jackson Haywood. Next row, Mitchell Collins in the FedEx Office Chevrolet FedEx Office Toyota car number 11. Beside him will be car number 30. It is the Pennzoil Pontiac of Shane Lake. Next row down is Tristan Allen in 14 and number 55, Daniel Bouchard. Next row down will be 26, Zach Winkle. And beside him, 01, Jesse Turner. Next row down has number 21, Benjamin Miles, and the Dodge Dealers Dodge car number 19 of Carson Gumbs is alongside. Next row down, driving the Eagle 1 colors on his number 6 Ford. It is the car of Ryan Brummer in car number 6, the Eagle 1 Ford Taurus. He'll be alongside car 48, Michael Whitman. Next row down has Emmanuel Hartnett in car 20 and the number 8 Boaz or Born on Date Chevrolet. He'll be driving in this race. Next row down has car 32. It is Matthew Logan, and beside him number 4 William Brock. Then 71 Jeremy Diaz in the Team Rotary Chevrolet, and number 1 Nathan Orman. And starting shotgun in the field will be car number 40 Sky Commons. So you can bet all these cars are primed and ready as they are getting set for a 40 lap Winston Open to try to qualify their way in the All-Star race. Now, like I said, the top 5 cars in the finishing order all qualify for the Winston itself, and I think we have had drivers who's made it in via the Winston Open go on to win the All-Star race. So that would be it's always quite a story when that happens. As far as if that were to happen, will it happen this season? Well, who knows? But anyway, so.
3, 2, 1. Gentlemen, start your engine.
The commands begin to fire the engines as we get set for racing here today at Charlotte Motor Speedway for 40 laps of the Winston Open. Field rolling off. 27 cars will be trying to go for the 5 spots. Mention our in-car cameras. Our top 3 drivers that qualified all carry our in-car cameras. Dylan Young, Keith Batson, and Levi McIntyre. Hard to believe those 3 have not yet won this season. That's the reason why they're all in this race. Some of them, of course, have different paint schemes just for this event, and I think they're also maybe running them for 600 as well. But other than that, though, it'll be back to the regular schemes. If not the 600, it'll be back to the regular schemes for the next stop on the tour after we leave Charlotte and head for Dover. Fields coming through turns 3 and 4. Dylan Young will lead them all down as they come through the third and fourth corners. 40 laps is what it's going to be. Top 5 finishers make it into the big dance itself, the Winston All-Star Race, as the green flag is about to fly. And we are underway in the Winston Open. Now, 40 laps, by the way, is also going to be the same distance we're going to have, by the way, for the second Charlotte points race this season, the Mellow Yellow 500. It's also going to be a 40-lap race, but it's going to be a 40-lap event, I should say. Half of what we're going to have for the 600. And this track very, very fast at Charlotte here. McIntyre to the low side, looks for the lead. Does not get it, and he'll, as Dylan Young will lead the first lap of this race. Into the third turn they come here. Zachary Fitzwater, car number 9, out in front. As he looks to lead the third lap of this race here. McIntyre led the last time by, but Fitzwater barely gets into the line as they go into turn number 1. Side by side. And all these cars lined up like a 185 mile an hour pace lap here at Charlotte. Will someone be ballsy and try to make a 3-wide move? Well, I don't know. Boy, that was close between Fitzwater and McIntyre at the line here. How close was that? 0.004 of a second at the line between the front two cars at the start-finish line. Some mover-uppers, as you've seen right there. In fact, our outside pole sitter, Keith Batson, has dropped back a little bit. Dylan Young trying to hold on to that top 5 position. He's currently running in 4th position at the moment. And that fifth and last spot is being currently held by Mitchell Collins in number 11. Boy, is it going to stay like this the whole race? I'm going to wonder here. Fitzwater doing a real good job keeping the inside lane, obviously, and as he and McIntyre continue to run side by side into turn number 1. They have been like this for the last, I don't know, all race long, I would imagine. This is what All-Star Weekend's all about, though. It's a lot of hungry drivers wanting in this race. Chevy in first, Ford second, third, Dodge in fourth, and a Toyota in fifth. Take a look at some of the paint schemes we have in this for this Charlotte weekend. The All-Star in the 600. There you see some of the schemes are actually regular, as you'll see right there. Except for the Mitchell Collins car. The Mitchell Collins car is a FedEx office car, not the FedEx ground that he had been running all season long so far. The 8 car, however, is plenty different. It's the Boas born on date car that Rob Evans is driving in this race. There you see, there it is, the number 8 car. Let's see. Diaz's scheme is still the same. So is Miles. So is Orman. So is Cat Batson. This scheme, though, is different. That's number 19 Dodge George Dodge with a checkered flag down the bottom. Now, that's a Mayfield car, by the way, too, in case you're wondering. I don't ever recall Atwood even driving this scheme. But anyway, it is the Dodge George Dodge, by the way, of Carson Gum. He's got the checkered flag across the hood and the bottom and everything else in the car. Moving on back there, the Valvoline Eagle 1 scheme right there. That's Ryan Brommer driving a 1999 Ford Taurus in this race. And right behind him, the Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Chevy of Jay Jefferson. So he's running that for this event as well. And bringing up the rear so far is Jesse Turner in car 01 as he's going to try to see if he can make it to the front sometime soon. In this race, we're down to 27 laps to go in the Winston Open. And yes, boys and girls, we're still on a 190-mile-an-hour pace lap. If this keeps up, this might bode well for our current top 5 at the moment if this keeps up. Fast lap so far set by Jesse Turner at almost 190 miles and 189.76. Back to the top 10 fast laps at over 189. Fitzwater at 188 miles an hour. McIntyre at 188. Actually, McIntyre at 187. Ryan George at 188. Dylan Young 187. Mitchell Collins 188. Batson at 187. Shane Lake down there on the bottom of the track. Rob Evans goes up the track there, and it's going to leave some room for Carson Gum down on the bottom. But Evans and Winkle both block the path of Carson Gum as they come off turn number 4. Almost halfway home in the open here as they come down the backstretch in the third turn. Ryan George runs third, as we mentioned. Dylan Young in fourth. And Mitchell Collins trying to take pole position away from Young as they come off the fourth corner. And like I said, they have been running like this all race so far, all literally open. And truthfully, I actually feel sorry for all the ones who can't make a move in this whole thing so far. Off through turns 1 and 2 they come here. Ryan George tries to take a peek on the bottom of the track. Somebody hopes they can make a move here. I mean, to get out of this 2x2x2x2 deal they're going on right now. Meantime, Fitzwater trying to finally pull ahead, but McIntyre's not having any of it on the outside of the track here. Off into turn number 3 they come. Here, let's see what happens as they come off the fourth corner. Fitzwater still has to lead at the line. Yes, he does. In the meantime, Mitchell Collins trying to make a move to the low side of Ryan George in turn number 1. Doesn't do it. Riding with Levi McIntyre. He's been second by a bumper the last, I don't know how many laps now. 20 in the books, 20 to go in the open. That's the thing, you're looking on the outside lane with there, you're gonna get more straightaway speed and more momentum on the outside of the track coming off the turn. Riding with Dylan Young, he runs in 4th. Just can't push McIntyre up in front of Nutt to try to clear the 9 car. Same thing with the 9 and the 15 on the bottom of the track. And something went wrong with the 9 car. What went wrong with the 9 car? He's on the bottom of the track. And now Dylan Young takes the lead. McIntyre to second. Third is now Batson. James Henry fourth. Paul Minnick's now the 1/5. Commons is up to 6th and Mitchell Collins 7th. What happened to Zachary Fitzwater? He's in for a pit stop right now. We're going to take a look in replay as to what happened here after the open is over. As to what happened to that 9 car. But oh my gosh, he had led from lap 4 to 22 or something like that. And then all of a sudden, it all fell down for the number 9 team. Meantime, back up front with now 15 to go. Keith Batson now takes the lead. And now we're beginning to see some racing here. Batson, James Henry, McIntyre, and Dylan Young, the top 4 up front. Paul Minnick is in 5th, and now 6th position now belonging now to Tristan Allen. So now any of these cars right now, this much can take that 5th spot away, that transfer spot away from Paul Minnick. Let's remember also they can also gain up on that front 4 machines too. They sit right now, 5th place right now sits less than 3 seconds back of the 4th place car. And Fitzwater back on the racetrack right now, so whatever problem they had that car suffered, they must have got it repaired. But the bad news for Fitzwater, he's now 2 laps down in 27th. So safe to say, unless something big happens, then his chance for making the Winston are over. Meantime, Levi McIntyre out in front as we now have 12 laps to go in the open. Here comes number 2, Dylan Young, to the low side of McIntyre for the number 1 spot. Here, Batson up below James Henry. Inside Keith Batson's car, runs in second place out behind Dylan Young. Remember one of the Winstons, by the way, that we said somebody won the Open, then came back and won the All-Star race himself. Well, Batson wasn't one of the drivers that did so, believe it or not. Into the third turn they come here. Back off the air. Batson jumps out in front. James Henry. He could be one of the surprises, by the way, to make it into the All-Star field. Fifth spot right now belonging now to Emmanuel Hartnett. Actually make that Matthew Logan up to fifth position now. As we're now down to 10 to go here, as we're going to look in the as we're looking now on that battle for the fifth and final transfer spot. Now Michael Whitman has it. Here comes Nathan Orman to the low side, the number 1 car as they come out the fourth corner. And here comes number 7. That is the car of Jackson Haywood here, and he and Cat Batson hooking up there. It's a shame they couldn't make their way up to try to make a battle for the push. It's a shame one couldn't push the other up to 4th place here, believe it or not. So that way you have all 3 of the KAB cars up in there. Off to number 4, here comes Haywood to the hot low side. He takes the position, but here comes Cat Batson, number 28. She'd like to join her husband into the All-Star race. Fourth place, 3.31 seconds ahead of this pack of cars, thanks to the misfortune of having the 9 machine that held up basically almost the entire field. And here comes Jesse Turner for that 5th spot, and he's going to take it now. Daniel Bouchard's right behind him. Benjamin Miles up there. Some big names up in his behind. Benjamin Miles, Ryan George, who was in the top 5 before that all happened. He'd like to get that back. 71 car, Jeremy Diaz, a rookie. He could possibly get that spot. Carson Gunn, William Brock in the 4 car. Any of these cars can take that 5th position. Any of these cars can. 6 laps to go in the open. Dylan Young, by the way, led the last time by, and there's what it looks like up front. Now McIntyre goes back to the lead with Batson to 2nd place now. Here comes 31, James Henry. Safe to say those 4 cars are basically locked into the All-Star race itself here. They're provided if one of those cars don't suffer a problem in these last 4 laps, or 5 laps, excuse me. Batson dips low, takes the lead away from McIntyre, but McIntyre fights back on the outside of the track here. That car somehow strong on the outside of the racetrack here, but Batson's going to go draft off Dylan Young in the Dodge as they come off to number 4. And Batson squeezes in front of McIntyre's car. 4 laps to go. Back to the battle for 5th. For that last transfer spot. 19 car, Carson Gunn has it. Here comes number 4, William Brock. Shane Lake, Mitchell Collins. 40 car of Sky Commons. Rob Evans up there as they come off that 4th turn. Here they come to the start-finish line. They'll be coming down for 3 laps to go. Brock has it for the moment. Here comes Shane Lake to the inside. He'd like to get into the Winston himself. Now Mitchell Collins jumps to the low side now. Here comes Commons and the 8 car of Rob Evans. Boy, who's going to be in that last spot when they come to the start finish? And they keep trading spots like that. 2 laps to go. Oh, Commons almost must have made it 3 wide, but thought better of it. Meantime, the leaders will see the white flag. Here comes Levi McIntyre. Slow car up ahead. It's the 9 car of Zachary Fitzwater. That was the cars he was running up front with earlier today, but mechanical problems struck that 9 team. Will he hold any of those cars up? White flag body is already out. We're on the last lap of the race. Fitzwater out in there trying to hold. Does he hold anybody up? Dylan Young looks to the low side. Here comes Keith Batson to the low side. Young has to lead for the moment. Off to number 4 they come. Batson takes a shot to the low side. Dylan Young wins the Winston Open to the start finish line. Battle for 5th, and it goes to Rob Evans. Jackson Haywood made a good run right to come to the start finish line for that last transfer spot on Rob Evans, but does not pull it off. And Rob Evans will be your 5th and final qualifier into the Winston and will make his first ever start, along with James Henry also making his first ever start, along with veterans Dylan Young, Levi McIntyre, and Keith Batson. And there's your winner of the Winston Open, Dylan Young in the number 2 Miller Lite Dodge. He will do it here today, averaging 186.757 miles an hour. Keith Batson second, Levi McIntyre third, James Henry fourth, and Rob Evans fifth. That will be that's your finishers that's your top 5 transfers into the Winston. Jackson Haywood comes within less than 6/100ths of a second of making it into the race. I mean, for the first time in his career. I mean, it'd have been the first one either way for Evans or Haywood, and Commons and Winkle and Collins for that. Commons and Winkle, but in fact, Collins had made it into the race, by the way, too. Had made it into the race last season. Forgot to mention that. But Haywood, Commons, Winkle, Collins, and Brommer rounds out the top 10. Better luck in the better luck for the 600. As these guys will be watching the All-Star race from the sidelines, unfortunately for them. Shane Lake, Tristan Allen, Paul Minnick, William Brock, Jay Jefferson, Carson Gum, Jeremy Diaz, Emmanuel Hartnett, Ryan George, Michael Whitman, Daniel Bouchard, Nathan Orman, Jesse Turner, Benjamin Miles, Matthew Logan, Cat Batson, and the hard luck story of this whole thing, Zachary Fitzwater, had that. I mean, he basically had the spot in the bag. He basically had it all in the bag, and I don't know what in the world happened. We're going to take a look back as to what happened middle of the race here. Zachary Fitzwater was out there leading. He had led for most of this race so far. And we'll take a look as to what happened. It happened, I think, on either this lap or the next lap. I don't remember which one it was, but here they came off the 4th turn. They came. Fitzwater led this lap right there, and then he went through turns 1 and 2. Fitzwater, there was right there. There's where the problem all happened right there. He basically held up the entire inside line. And quick as a flash, the outside lane, at least about 3 or 4 cars of him, all flew by, and all this happening through turns 1 and 2, and that's where it all fell down for Fitzwater. He finally regained power, but it was too late at that point. So that is your story of the Winston Open, and we got your top, and the field is set for the Coca-Cola 600 as 19 cars will start this race. We will be right back for the Coca-Cola 600 right after this. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and this is it. The main event, the Mecca that is Charlotte Motor Speedway. Yeah, the main event and the Mecca that is the Winston All-Star Race is about to commence here. 20 laps in segment 1 and segment 2. So here we go, 20 laps for what we're about to start here over the first segment, and of course the other 20 to finish it all off. So we just completed the Winston Open. Top 5 finishers from that race have been added to the field, as you see right here. 19 cars overall, and here's the starting lineup for today's running in the event. On the pole, it is Seth Cole, car 98, the Caleb Ford. He got into this race by winning at California. He'll be alongside the man who got into this race by winning 3 times this season, Zach Rogers in the Skull Bandit Chevy car 33. Second row, Phil Parker, car 25, the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. And Charles Sanford, car 24, the DuPont Chevrolet. Parker got him by winning at Darlington. Sanford by being the season 15 champion. Third row, Johnny Gardner, car 12, the Mobile One Altel Dodge. He got in this race by being a Season 8 champion. And Dylan Pote, the Season 1 champion in this series. Then going to be in a Caterpillar Pontiac, car 22. Special gold scheme on that machine. Going to row number 4 is Quentin Morton, racing with Jesus Dodge, car 89. He won it in Atlanta. That's how he got in. And the 5-time champion, Jessica Shelton, car 94, the McDonald's Mac Tonight Ford. Special one-time scheme for this race, and she'll be back with the 17 car at the 600. Shelton got in this race by being the 5-time series champion and also a win this season at North Wilkesboro. Going to the 5th row, we'll have car 3, the Cole Deaver, the GM Goodrich Chevrolet. He's in this race by being the season 21 champion in the Dale Earnhardt colors, and alongside him in the Haviland Dodge, car number 42, it is Kyle Matthews, and he'll be running this scheme in the 600 as well on this very same track. Matthews is in this race by being the 2-time winner of the season as well as the 2-time series champion. Going to the 6th row will be Matt Haas, car number 18, the Interstate Barriers Pontiac. He got in this race by winning the season at Talladega. And 00 Cav Shear, who got in by winning the season at Sonoma, the last race we were on before we headed to Charlotte. Next row down, Joshua Osborne, the 78 5 Energy Tracker Boat Chevrolet Toyota. He got in this race by being a 3-time series champion. He's not yet won this season, however. And beside him will be car 43, Mike Becker. He punched his ticket in by winning the Daytona 500 this season. And our Winston All-Star Open top 5 finishers. Next row down has Dylan Young in number 2, the Miller Lite Dodge. He's the Winston Open winner. Second place in the Winston Open was Keith Batson, who started alongside Young. Then it's Levi McIntyre, 99, the Aflac Ford Fusion. And beside him will be James Henry. And starting shotgun field will be Rob Evans, the Budweiser Born on Date Chevrolet, car number 8. He was the 5th and final transfer and got in that spot by the skimmest of margins. I mean, it was less than 600 of a second at the start finish line between he and Jackson Haywood. So basically about relatively a half a car length of the line between those two cars.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
That's ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, because there's one lady in the field, by the way, too. So, and we are set to go racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Field comes off on the pit road. 19 cars is what it's all about here. We had 14 originally qualified by virtue of either winning a race this season or being the season champion. And the other 5, as we mentioned, were the Winston All-Star Open finishers. Two of the drivers that some of the drivers are the first timers in this field. There's first timers that we have in this field. Rob Evans is one of them. So is James Henry, who's also in this field. And I think Phil Parker and Zach Rogers might be in their first All-Star Opens as well races as well as the 89 car of Quentin Moore. I think he's also in there for the first time. But this is truly an all-star race here, so sit back, relax, grab a drink and snack of your choice, and let's get set for nighttime racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Winston All-Star Race for Season 24 is underway. Here we go. Seth Cole jumps out in front. Second position is Phil Parker, then Johnny Gardner as they go to the third and fourth turns now. Number 12, Johnny moves Phil up the high side of the track. Off to number 4. Seth Cole leads the first lap of this all-star race here. 20 laps in the first segment and 20 in the second. And they will race in the second second segment will line up by the finishing order of the first segment, by the way. So if you In-car cameras in today's event, carried by Charles Samper, Jessica Shelton, and Kyle Matthews. Those three will be carrying in-car cameras in today's event at Charlotte. In the Winston, Gardner has the lead right now. Here comes Dylan Poteet to the low side as he'll try to move to the low side of Gardner's car. Off turn number 4 they come. Pontiac out in first. Here comes a Dodge to the low side. It's Quentin Moore. Cole Deaver right behind him. Deaver would like to get an all-star win himself. In fact, he almost got in last race. A couple races back, he almost got in as a race winner a couple races back when he almost won at Martinsville. Got passed with about 5 to go by Kyle Matthews in that event for the win. And Deaver wants to win this race, and he has won quite a few times in this series. As we mentioned, he's a season 21 champion in Castrol GTX Cup. Matt Haas, he's won some races himself in this series too. In fact, he's won at least once in the last 2 seasons. At the moment, he won at Talladega this season, and last season he won at Rockingham. Osborne up to 3rd position. Here comes Dylan Young, one of the transfers from the Open. He, along with Levi McIntyre, Rob Evans, James Henry, and Keith Batson, all in the center of the action here at Charlotte. Dylan Young looks to the low side looking for the lead. Young dips down low and he has lead. Now look at this. We are in the side-by-side battle right here at this point. You remember in the Winston Open we were side-by-side for about, I don't know, almost 20 laps straight. And neither driver could pull out to a comfortable advantage. Meantime, Levi McIntyre now moves to the lead. Here comes Rob Evans to the left side. James Henry in the 31 car. As the low side of the track, you're on board Jessica Shelton's car. There's another driver who wants to win this race bad here. Shelton, 5-time series champion, but never a Daytona 500 win, nor a Brickyard win, nor a 600 win. As hard as that all is to believe for Jessica Shelton. And also never a Pepsi 400 win either, and another win from the plate track. But anywhere else she's won at this, she's won on a mile track, a mile and a half, a 2-mile track, a road course, and a short track. You name it, basically, on the rest of them. And I think she even has I think she does have a Mellow Yellow 500 win at Charlotte, I think herself, but I could be wrong on that, but I think she has a Mellow Yellow 500 win. Meantime, Mike Becker to the low side looks for the lead. He's got it. Come off turn number 4. But here comes that 94 the car we were just on board with, Jessica Shelton. To the low side, we're 10 in the books, 10 to go in segment number 1. Here comes Kyle Matthews to the low side. Matthews, he's won an all-star race himself. He knows what it's like, so is Charles Samper. Off to number 4 they come. Kev Shear is right there behind Samper at the moment. Phil Parker in there in the 25, 33 up ahead of him. That's Zach Rogers. Rogers now moves inside Shelton for 4th place. And here comes Kev Shearer to the low side of the track here. Car number 00. He moves inside, takes position from Sanford here, and now try to go along Kyle Matthews. 42 car out in front as he looks low on the track. You used to seeing Matthews in the Coors Light Pontiac, as we have seen him all season long so far, and that's why he drove the wins at Rockingham and Martinsville. Today, giving that Dodge a fine run. This is the only time you'll see him in a Dodge. This race, along with the 600 on this very same track, some of the same cars you'll see in the Winston will you also see in the 600 as well. Of course, Shelton will go back to the 17 next for the 600 herself, because this is a one-time scheme for her. In the meantime, you got two of the veterans up front, Poteet and Seth Cole, side by side. Gardner to the low side of the track. 6 to go in segment number 1. As we said, they'll line up in the finishing order of the first segment. For segment 2, for all the marbles. Johnny Gardner out in front now with 5 to go. And here comes Quentin Moorhead. Thoughts of making it 3 wide for the lead, but not quite. Osborne is right there behind him in number 78, as well as Haas and Batson and Deaver. Running with Kyle Matthews in car number 42. He's running 11. He was clocked in 11 the last time by. Let's see what he's going to be at this time by. And meantime, to the low side, who's that? Is that James Henry to the low side for the lead? I think it might be. No, it's Osborne who's up to the lead now. There is James Henry, as we were talking about him in the 31 car, as he's gotten past, as has McIntyre. Here comes Shearer to the low side. He's got position now on Matthews. Now from Charles Sanford's view, card number 24. 2 to go in the first segment. And Cole Deaver looks low, and I think they may have Batson trapped 3 wide. And then in trouble, Batson and Osborne's both crashed. Batson and Osborne hooked each other in turn number 1, and into the wall they go. And they'll take the white and yellow flags together here, and that means Cole Deaver will win segment number 1. Dylan Young second. Third will go to third place right now will go to Mike Becker. Fourth will be Matt Haas. Charles Sanford fifth. Sixth will be Quentin Moore. Seventh to James Henry. 8th to Levi McIntyre, 9th to Johnny Gardner, and 10th place will be Kev Shearer. And there it is. Cole Deaver is going to be your season. Is going to be your race. Is going to be your first segment winner. Average speed 179.550, and we were going to have a pretty good finish for that first segment. We were going to have one for sure. Let's take a look as to what happened coming to 2 to go. Rewound it all the way. Take a look as to what happened here. They got Batson in the middle of a three-way situation. Deaver got a really good run with the help of the draft of the 2 of Dylan Young. Batson tried to clear up Osborne at the track, and I think didn't realize the 78 was there. Just another couple of inches, and he'd have had the 78 cleared. But the unfortunate factor was that this had to happen for the 78 and the 88 cars. I don't think the 78 got much damage. I saw a little bit of a side cave on the 78 car, but Batson slid back down across the track, couldn't get his car to start back up. And I hope, and if he's counted out of the race, so then that means they're not gonna. That means he's not gonna be. Well, they didn't count either car out of the race, so both cars will start the. We'll start the We'll start the second segment of this race here, of course. So that's what it's going to mean. Rest of the finishing order for the first segment. This is how to line up for the second segment. Let's remember: Rob Evans, Seth Cole 11th, Rob Evans 12th, Jessica Shelton 13th, Dylan Poteet 14th, Phil Parker 15th, Zach Rogers 16th, Kyle Matthews 17th, Joshua Osborne 18th, and Keith Batson 19th. So one segment down and one to go. The Winston All-Star race will continue right after this. Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the pace car's lights are now off as we are about to set for the start of segment number 2, the 20-lap segment. We set the running order for you here. Cole Deaver leads the race. Second position is Dylan Young. Third is Mike Becker. Matt Haas fourth. Charles Sanford's fifth. Sixth right now is the 89 car of Quentin Moore. Seventh right now is James Henry. Eighth, Levi McIntyre. Ninth is Johnny Gardner. 10th position is Kev Shearer. That's how they run at the moment. They've got the cars of Joshua Osborne and Keith Batson all fixed. And they're on the same lap as the rest of the field. The green flag is out. We are underway for segment number 2, 20 laps in the books and 20 laps to go. And this is not just a 20 lap. This is not just a 20 lap dash. This ain't just any 20 lap dash. This is 20 laps for the money, as if it were real. Cole Deaver out in front, car number 3. Here comes Mike Becker to the low side in 43. Charles Sanford has to muscle his way to the low side of the track here. Here they come into turn number 1. And Sanford tries to take for second position, and he's got it through turns 1 and 2, and he's going to take it. Two of the most iconic cars of the 90s jumping out in front. There are 3 in the 24 cars. Here comes Sanford to the low side for the lead. He won this race, I think, back in season 9. I don't remember what year it was, truthfully, that he won it. But anyway, Sanford takes the lead for the moment. Here comes number 20. Here comes number 31. James Henry to the low side for the lead. In the turn number 1, Johnny Gardner to the low side for second place. He's got it. Here comes Seth Cole to the low side. He's got Jessica Shelton shoving him. On board with Charles Sanford in car number 24. He runs right now. He runs in 4th position, maybe even 5th. He comes across the start-finish line. Seth Cole now jumps out in front. Here comes Phil Parker and Kyle Matthews in that mix of cars. 189 miles an hour. They're running laps here on this track here. 189 miles an hour. And here comes Shelton to the left side for the lead. Jessica Shelton jumps out in front. Here comes number 20. Here comes number 42. Kyle Matthews to the left side. He's got the second position for the moment. Looks for the lead. He's got it off to number 4. Now Poteet looks low on the track. Looking for the lead. Just an explosive start to the second segment. It is Matthews out in front. Poteet second position. Third is now Batson as they come through turns 1 and 2. Batson out in front. Batson in third position here. He's got McIntyre right behind him in car 99. Boy, what racing we're seeing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway here. And the Winston All-Star race never disappoints in the Castrol GTX Cup Series. And certainly not this season for sure. Here comes McIntyre to the low side for second place. He's got it. A pair of Buckeyes out in front. Matthews first, McIntyre second. One from Dayton, the other from Portsmouth. McIntyre low side. He's got second, looking for lead for first, and he's got it. And here comes Kev Shearer in this mix. He's got Osborne behind him. Levi McIntyre in first. Second, Kev Shearer. Third, Joshua Osborne. And here comes number 89, Quentin Moore. Moore looking for fourth, and he's got it. He's got Deaver behind him, car number 3, the man who restarted this race and started the segment in first. And he's got the other Earnhardt car. He's got the Dale Jr. cars of Rob Evans behind him, car number 8. Off the fourth turn they come. They'll be completing 9 laps here. 11 to go in the Winston. Down the backstretch in the turn number 3, Cole Deaver looks slow for second place. McIntyre out in front. Dylan Young up to 4th position now. Car number 2, Sanford up to 5th and 24. Hendrick cars hooked up, the 24 and 25 cars. Bill Parker running side by side with Quentin Moore. Meantime, battle for the second position. Rob Evans to the left side of Cole Deaver, and he's got it. Rob Evans, who is the 5th and final transfer in the Winston Open. Here comes the Winston Open winner, Dylan Young, to the low side. He's got Sanford behind him. In 24, he's got Bill Parker behind. Matt Haas in 18. And Mike Becker in 43. Don't pencil in your winner yet, because any of these cars can pull this one off in these final 7.5 laps. McIntyre first, second is Sanford. Bill Parker up the 3rd spot. Is he going to look low? Sanford's going to look low for the lead. Here comes car 24, Charles Sanford. He's going to bring Parker with him. And Sanford going to first. In the second goes Parker. In the 3rd turn they come here. Charles Sanford out in front. Haas goes to 3rd. 4th going to Becker. 5th right now, James Henry in that 31 car. Can he pull off an upset and win this race? Oh, the possibilities you got in this race, and we got it all. And check it out, the fast lap race over 191 miles an hour. They are cranking them up right now. Over 190 miles an hour around Charlotte. Keith Batson up there. He's up to 3rd position now. 5 to go. Johnny Gardner, he wants to win this race. James Henry perched on the 2nd position now behind Sanford Batson at the 3rd spot. And here comes James Henry for the lead. Car 31. Is he going to take it? He's got it for the moment. Here comes Johnny Gardner for 2nd place. He gets by Batson. He comes up on Sanford now. Car 24. The number 12, Altel Mobile 1 Dodge. Up to 2nd place now. Seth Cole's going in there with him. Zach Rogers is right there behind. Matthews, Shelton, they're all right there behind. And they're all getting into it now. 3 to go. Who's in the best position? That's going to be the question here. It could be Gardner, could be Seth, could be Rogers, could be Matthews. I mean, who knows? Seth Cole for the lead now. Car 98, the man who's the pole sitter for this race. He's got Zach Rogers behind him now, coming down for 2 laps to go. Zach Rogers first for the lead. He's got Kyle Matthews behind him. Matthews looking for the lead, coming off turn number 2. He's got Jessica Shelton right there behind him, car number 94. I don't know, but I'm guessing it may be Poti that's, and what's going on, it could be Poti that could be in the best mix right now. White flag! Kyle Matthews was out in front, but here comes Shelton. She's got the lead for the moment. Can she hold them all off? Poti, does he look low? No, he does not. Through turns 3 and 4. She's never won this race before. Off the 4th turn she comes. And it's finally going to happen for her this season. 24, Winston goes to Jessica Shelton. She has finally done it in the Winston. Jessica Shelton, who's been trying since season 10, has finally done it today. What a fine drive by the McDonald's Mac tonight. Ford, car number 94. Dylan Poti comes home second. Third to Kev Shearer. Fourth to Cole Deaver. Fifth was the man leading at the white flag, Kyle Matthews. Quentin Moore was 6th. 7th will go to Zach Rogers. 8th place will go to Joshua Osborne. 9th to Seth Cole. And 10th to Phil Parker. Well, we said the Winston never disappoints, and good Lord, this year was no exception. Average speed in the second segment, 188.264. And after trying for 14 seasons, she's finally done it. Jessica Shelton wins the Winston at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the All-Star race. Rest of the finishing order for here today: Johnny Gardner 11th, 12th to Mike Becker, 13th James Henry, 14th Rob Evans, Charles Samper 15th, 16th Dylan Young, Keith Batson 17th, Levi McIntyre 18th, and unfortunately for Matt Haas, he was the one bringing up the caboose in 19th position. But what a race that was at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The race was fast and fierce from start to finish. And in the end, Jessica Shelton, the 5-time series champion, does it here today at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Winston as she grabs it for the first time. And will she do it? Will she pull off the double in the 600? Well, we'll find out. And when that race happens, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, obviously. So that will do today. So that's the story of the Winston All-Star Race at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Castrol GTX Cup Series for season 24. If you like what you see here, be sure to subscribe to the NNSCRA Sports and Gaming channel. We got everything on the channel. We got interesting gaming videos, whatever present on the NNSCRA Sports Race channel. Be sure to check out our online racing videos as well as the Marvel Studios Cup Series from Thrasher 899 on his channel, as well as the 2 race series on this channel. The Duracell Cup Series and the Bubba's All Pro Series. Be sure to check those series out. And the new Xfinity Series from Seth Cole is coming up soon, as of this video. So stay tuned for that as well. So best offline series are under the NNSCRA umbrella, and you will not regret checking this channel out neither. So season 24 Winston is all race is completed. And Jessica Shelton finally gets it done for the first time ever in her career at this race. And that is congratulations again to her. And if you like, and yeah, You'll see it for the Coca-Cola 600 on this very same racetrack here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 80 laps of action on this race track for that race for sure. And it's the long and you'll see why it's the longest race on the tour. For now, this has been a production of the NNSCRA. Offline racing at its best. We will see you for the Coca-Cola 600.
Greg, did you have any ignition problems?